welcome back to Inside the Dojo. I'm your host, Leilani Dangadang, and I'm here with Master Sabrina Brasi of Eagle Taekwondo.
Hello.
Today, we are at the Eagle Taekwondo Tropicana location, the very first location they had, and your home school, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so first, I want to talk about you and your Taekwondo journey, how you got started. So when did you start here at this school?
I started in, I think, 2010. Okay. My grandmother knows Master Kim's mom, and we used to work together, and she signed herself up for Taekwondo.
Okay.
And then she broke a bone.
Oh my God.
Not in class.
Okay.
Generally. So she had a contract with Master Kim, and instead of canceling the contract, she sent me
to take her place.
Yes. And I didn't like it.
Really?
Didn't like Taekwondo until I think blue or brown.
That's a long time. That's like halfway to black belt.
I will say it was the sparring.
Okay.
It was the sparring.
You didn't like sparring?
Yeah. We had sparring on Wednesdays back in the day, and I would purposely skip Wednesday so that I didn't have to spar. But one day I just didn't want to be anywhere else. So I wanted to be here. I wanted to work here.
So now you're here. How many years later?
16 years.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So who pushed you to do sparring? Were your parents putting you in it constantly? Because I know you competed back in the day too.
Yeah, I competed in sparring too, which
is crazy.
It wasn't my favorite. It was both. It was my parents and my family. They were like, "You're a Taekwondo. You're gonna do everything. You can't pick and choose what you want to do." And so it's
that's fair.
You're gonna have to. But
that's fair. Okay. So how long did you compete in sparring?
Only a couple years. It wasn't too long.
Okay. What age groups did you compete in?
I was older when I started, so I was 11.
Okay.
By the time I started competing, I think I was 15. So 15 to maybe 14 to 16.
Okay, so junior division.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty tough division. That's tough. Hard division. What belt were you when you were competing?
Around, I think I started at blue, brown, red was where I started.
Okay. That's pretty tough too. At least it wasn't black, but that's still pretty tough.
Yeah, it was that older division mid-rank.
Okay, and then how old were you when you ended up getting your black belt?
17.
Okay.
It's later.
Nice. And then did you start instructing right after that, or how did that happen?
Well, a leadership team was not what it
what it is now. Today it's pretty organized, pretty set up. There's a lot of systems.
Back in the day, it was just Master Kim being you should come to this leadership class because you should be on leadership team, and then you would just do it.
Okay, cool.
It's not the way it is. But I started assisting, and because I was already working, I had 3 jobs, and then on top of that, I was doing leadership team.
So what jobs did you have as a 17-year-old?
I worked at the mall.
Okay.
Icing.
Oh, every 17-year-old's dream job. Perfect.
I was a babysitter since I was 12.
Okay.
And then I was in the symphony orchestra. I was first chair.
Oh, nice.
So we were doing the theater, the pit. We would play for all the theater plays and things like that.
That's cool.
So
what did you play?
Viola.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Okay, so what made you get into Poomsae the way you are? Because obviously you're our school's Poomsae coach.
Yes.
Did you compete in Poomsae?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I competed in both originally, and then once I started getting older as a black belt, I picked Poomsae over sparring. And I don't know, we used to train a lot more, us masters would train a lot more than we do now. But every training, I was just wanting to get better. And even at home, I would focus on, if I was doing something, it had to be Poomsae related.
Oh, cool.
So, that's how I got my kicks better. Shaving my legs in the shower, my legs had to be straight. I couldn't stand
in the shower hitting this guy.
That standing leg had to be straight. Crazy. And that's how I got better. I don't know what it was, but
I'm gonna have to try that now. That might help. That might be the reason.
It's a mental thing. So
that's so funny.
So yeah.
Okay. And then, so have we always had a Poomsae team, that competes the way we do now? Because we are pretty involved in the competition space now?
Back in the day, it was more casual, and we would just go to tournaments that we picked. It was like maybe 2 tournaments a year. We weren't going to nationals until it was like 2014, 2013 when we started going to nationals.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because back then it was like the Jimmy Kim in California. I don't know if you guys went to that one, but that was like the main one that we would go to.
Okay.
And the trainings were here
at Trop.
Master Kim. Yeah,
oh my gosh.
It was like way different. We used to like run this path back and forth. Like she'd make us spring
running.
We'd have to run. But I think it wasn't until recently that we started making everything more organized so that we could get our team better too. Because we were
pre-COVID or post-COVID?
Post-COVID, because even pre-COVID, we wouldn't even our Poomsae and sparring training were coinciding with our testings. So we would cancel Poomsae and sparring all the time. And then until we were like, maybe we should stop canceling and we should start having like a specific schedule so that we wouldn't have to crash.
Gotcha. Okay. So would you say back in the day, like, was it the same issue for like sparring practices as well? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys started taking Poomsae and sparring, like just competition team, a little bit more seriously, like a few years ago, you would say.
Yeah. It used to be seasonal. Our competition
team
was seasonal. It was like maybe 3 months out of the year because we were training for one specific tournament that we would start the competition team.
Okay.
And then after that, it would be like another year until we had a competition team again.
Gotcha. Now we just do practice year round. Yeah.
Yeah. We never cancel.
We actually have extra practice that we are both obviously dressed for right now if you're watching a video.
Yes.
Okay. So when did you take over Poomsae?
6 years ago.
Was that before or after the Jones location opened?
Jones opened in 2015.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it was after. It was way after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And so getting into the more Poomsae tailored questions and topics, what do you think is one thing that like main Poomsae athletes struggle with right now, like mentally getting prepared for the competitions?
Getting prepared, I think self-training is hard because then you can't see what you look like and see what's wrong. So I think that's part of it. I wish that we could have more days in the week so we can train more. But self-practice is really important because you have to feel what's correct and feel what's incorrect. And I tell those students that all the time. If you feel this front stance is correct or your kick, whatever the case, that's how you can get it better and improve. Or like recording yourself is a big thing too. That's why I have you guys record your own videos.
Yeah.
But I think that's the main thing that I would say is feeling the wrong move and knowing how to fix it is the hardest part without somebody watching you do it. That's a good one.
Like having a coach there constantly. Okay. And what are some things that you think like Poomsae athletes, like what are necessary things for a Poomsae athlete? Like obviously sparring is being able to like be quick and think on your feet, you know, or react. What would you say like are a couple components to being a Poomsae athlete that you definitely need to have down if you want to take this seriously?
Flexibility. I think it would be the first one. If you're not working on your flexibility constantly and it goes down, it affects your kicks immediately. And then the next would be like the technicality of your forms, like your arms. You should know where everything starts and ends. And I think that's something that some students, it takes a while to learn those things for them.
Okay. And would you say, I feel like I already know the answer to this one, but so would you say it's easier to coach a brand new student into Poomsae than retraining somebody who's kind of already learned it somewhere else from like maybe like a different coach that, you know, you guys focus on different things?
I think it comes down to habits and like what you, if you already know Taekwondo, it's easier to learn the new habits.
Okay.
But if you don't know those rules, you're learning a lot more information on top of all of the Poomsae rules.
Gotcha.
I think that's so
because
older. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's my answer.
Okay. Actually, I think I got ahead of myself. So let's break it down for people who don't know the fundamentals of Poomsae. Like what age division, or yeah, what are the age divisions and the belt divisions that people typically compete in?
The belts that we go by, that Tournament USAT goes by, are yellow, green, blue, brown, and blue and red.
Okay.
Brown. There used to be a brown. There's still longer.
No brown. Okay.
More brown.
And no orange, right?
No orange.
Did you say purple?
Yeah.
There's purple. Okay. So no orange. I'm looking at the belts on the wall. You guys can't see it, but there's no orange and no brown. Okay.
Actually, purple too. Purple is weird because every school has a different rank system, and purple is intermediate in majority of schools.
Oh.
So like for this combat games, yellow, purple, orange, and green are in the same category.
Oh, okay.
That's like intermediate for them.
Interesting.
And like the yellow and white is the beginner.
Okay.
So we took it out because it gets confusing when you have a purple belt and then they're going to compete and they're not intermediate, they're beginner.
Yeah.
So we took it out.
Okay. And then what are the age divisions?
Dragon, 6 to 7. And then Tiger. Oh, sorry. Tiger's first. Tiger is second, 8 to 9. Youth is 10 to 11. Cadets are 12 to 14. Juniors 15 to 17. And then seniors 18 and up.
Okay. So what age group do you think students start to take like Poomsae a little bit more seriously? Because obviously I feel like the younger generation, they compete because their parents like put them in it, see, you know, if you like it. When do you think they make that switch as an athlete? Like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to be the best. I want to win. Like, when do they start taking it seriously?
I think that youth 10 to 11 age, because they're starting to grow their own mind a little bit and starting to, hopefully by then they understand what they're learning. Sorry. And they start to like it or dislike it. It's like they're going down one path or another. And then if they like it, that's when they can grow. So.
Do you think it's more of an age thing or like a belt rank thing?
I think it's age, because I think there could be a 10-year-old yellow belt that takes it just as seriously as a 10-year-old red belt.
Okay.
So I think it's like their mentality that comes into it.
Gotcha. Nice. What would you say is the toughest division right now as far as the age and belt group?
Black.
Oh. Hold on, pause.
This is why I put the drink over there.
Okay.
I'll grab them. Perfect. Okay. So I would say the cadet age group, black belt division is, I think it's always been the hardest.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's right after they become aware of the competition world. And by that time, if you started young competing at a lower belt and you get older as black belt to cadet, they're really competitive. They're like at that prime of they're easily moldable to what you want them to be. And yeah, that's the hardest.
Because that group is usually when we go, they have like the most competitors in that group. Like I think a standard competition usually has like at least 15 competitors, right? Like usually more, but at least 15.
It's popular and
saturated.
Challenging.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. And then because I think we talked about this previously, where all of the Taekwondo divisions are kind of phasing out traditional competitions in the black belt divisions.
Yeah.
So when do the students go from competing, obviously traditional color belts, to sports?
I would say around the red belt, because the next step is black belt for them. And by the time they get to that black belt division, they need to already know all of these forms. So teaching them early, I think, is beneficial rather than making them wait and then teaching them 4 forms all at one time.
Yeah.
It's like more confusing for them, I would say.
Okay. And then can you explain the difference really quick between traditional and sports, Poomsae?
Traditional it's 1 or 2 forms. So color belts, it's between, let's say red belt, it's 7 or 8. And then if it's a traditional black belt, it goes by your degree. So if it's first degree, it's choreo, second degree, it's kumgang. Sports Poomsae, they have to know up to 7 forms. There's like a specific 7 for each age group that they're in. So it might be different per your age.
Okay.
But yeah, they have to know those specific 7 forms and just be prepared to compete in it.
Yeah.
Any tournament.
Anytime.
Always know it.
So with the new, what is it called? The quick draw
Yes.
system. How is that different from the previous system where, what would you say? They gave us like a week's notice in advance?
The designated Poomsaes were good because you had a week or two, depending on the tournament. Sometimes they were nice, and sometimes they were not so nice.
Yeah.
I think on the coaches' side, it was more chaotic for the designated Poomsaes because I'd be like, when are they going to post it? What are they going to post it on? The website doesn't have anything. I have to go to their Facebook. Like,
And you're like digging for this
you
information.
have to dig for it. And then because you want your athlete to have that extra time to practice what they need to practice. And then it would be based on like, not everybody would have a preliminary. Maybe they might go to finals because it's a smaller group. So it would be confusing on how many, when they posted it. I think with the quick draw, it's harder for the athlete because it's on the spot, but it's less chaotic because you just have to know all of them at all times. And so I think in a different way, it's maybe a little more organized just because you don't have to wait for somebody to post something. You just have to be prepared for it either way.
Do you think mentally on the athlete what the difference was? Because when it was the designated Poomsae, say like we got the notice in advance and we're like, oh, it's Pyeongwon, I'm done, like that's it, I should quit. Or when the quick draw, you're like, oh, it could be like Quebec, which is, you know, slightly easier than Pyeongwon. So do you think like mentally, how does that affect the athlete?
I think it's good and bad because knowing beforehand helps you prepare for it. But I think with this quick draw, you have a better chance of doing color belt forms and not just black belt forms. Because with the designated Poomsaes, it was always like the highest black belt forms. But with the quick draw, they have to cycle through all of the forms. So there's a chance that you're gonna get like Tech 7.
Oh yeah, which I did, and that was a win.
It's a good form to compete with. So
that was fantastic.
I think it's a good thing that they do it like that because they're not just choosing the same form over and over. I think there were a couple years where the seniors, you guys had like the same form for each tournament. So it was kind of like, oh, I wish I could do a different one, or I wish I could get this one kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I felt like there was a period where it was like Koryo, Kumgang, and Pyeongwon all the time.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then so when the athletes are competing and they're taking the sports seriously, when do you think athletes kind of fall off from the sports Poomsae? Because they go from, let's just say, like you said earlier, cadet to being super on it. That's, let's say they're like a Poom at the time, and then they age up, they rank up, they get to, what is it, maybe like second or third right now into the senior division. When do you think like they kind of mentally fall off? Like, oh, I'm going to start coaching, or I'm like, they quit Taekwondo because, you know, life happens and everyone gets a little bit older.
I think it's the senior division. Juniors, they fall off a little bit, but they're still in it. I think once they get to that senior age, they're wanting to explore other things. So whether it's like, oh, I'm going to get a job, or I'm going to go to college and I have to plan for this, or maybe they're just burnt out from the competition world, which I think happens a lot. I would say the seniors for sure.
Okay. And how long would you say is the typical Taekwondo athlete, like for Poomsae's like career? Like if it starts in the youth or the Tigers, like how long do you think the average?
Average youth to senior, that's like 8 years. So 8 or 9 years, depending on if they started young or maybe they're staying longer in the senior division. But yeah, around 8 years, I would say.
Okay. That's longer than I was anticipating, to be honest.
I think I'm just thinking about the current black belts. They all started when they were all at that age.
Okay.
8, 9, 10, and they're still competing today.
So that's good. Okay. So how many people would you say is on our sports Poomsae team?
Sports Poomsae. It's growing.
Oh yeah, we have a couple new members I've seen, which is pretty cool.
Sorry, I'm counting.
You're like, wait a minute.
I would say about 10.
Okay.
Around 10.
That's cool. And then our biggest divisions in sports is, I would say, like juniors, right? Or junior, or do you think it's kind of even? I feel like we do have a little bit more seniors now.
Yes, the seniors are growing. I think it's even between the juniors and cadets right now.
Okay, nice. So moving on, I do want to get into the differences between individual sports competing versus like teams or pairs. So what do you think is the biggest or like the most challenging issue with doing a teams or a pair?
Teams and pairs, with teams, you are working with somebody else. And if you let yourself down, you're letting that person down too. I think if it's individual and you let yourself down, you're hard on yourself, but it didn't affect others. But if you're in a pair or a team and something happens, you miss a kip or your kick wasn't there, I think it affects the others in your team immediately. And I think that can be harder mentally.
Okay. Dang, you're right. And then also, what are the different points of or what are the different components of being judged on in a pair or a team, opposed to the normal well, actually, let's go back. So when you compete in Poomsae, what are the categories that you get judged on?
So out of 10 points, 4 points, there's 4 and 6 points. There's 4 points for technicality and then 6 points for presentation. So 6 points is 2 of them are for power, 2 of them are for rhythm, and then 2 of them are for your performance, your presentation of yourself and your movements. The technicalities are more of is your stance correct? Is your block correct? Those are the things. The presentation side is more how do your moves flow together and how do you look doing it? I think it's a pretty general way of saying it. So when you're doing it by yourself, they're just judging you. But if you're doing it with others, they're judging how you look with the person next to you. If you're moving together, if your moves look the same, if you're flowing at the same time.
Gotcha. So do you think that for pairs versus teams, do you think people typically try to find someone who's the same height as them or the same look as them, or how deep do you think that goes into that?
I think it does matter, because if it's too off-putting, not off-putting, but if someone's way down here and someone's way taller up here, it might look like their kicks, it's going to be really hard to get their kicks to match.
Yeah.
They're, just the way that they look, it might be harder to match them rather than if they have the same height and the same kicks and the same everything. That's where it becomes easier if they look the same, kind of thing like that.
Okay. And then when people compete in pairs or teams, do they have to be in the same age group, belt group, all of that, or what is the stipulations for the groups?
Generally, if we're talking USAT, it's teams has to be the same age group and belt group. So usually it's just in the black belt division. So they would have to be black belt juniors or black belt cadets, and they would have to be all same gender.
Okay, for teams. And then pairs is opposite gender, right?
Mixed pairs, boy and girl.
Okay. Gotcha. And then what do you think is the benefit for an athlete to compete in multiple divisions or multiple events?
Poomsae, there's a lot of training, and I think sometimes tournament day, if you're only in one event, you just compete one time, you win or you lose, and then you go home. But when you're in more events, the training that you do, you get to show it off more times. So if you're competing 2 or 3 times, you get to show off your skill that many times versus just the one event that you ended up signing.
Okay. And then if you fumble one performance, you can bring yourself back
and save it maybe.
Sorry. Okay. And what would you say is your favorite thing about coaching our Poomsae team?
I think seeing the improvement of everybody. I know that it's hard, and I know that losing is hard. It sucks. But it's all about mentality, I would say. If you're graceful with it, or you understand why you lost, or you just know that maybe you didn't do your best that day, I think that's a big part of it too. Okay.
And then I think I mentioned this earlier. So obviously, as a Poomsae athlete, you want to focus on your progress and your growth, but also we are here to compete. So there's always that fine line between comparison is the thief of joy. So you don't want to compare yourself to the person who got gold at this last competition when you maybe didn't place. Yeah. But then also we're still competing. So you ultimately do want to beat the person who got gold. So how do you think athletes should deal with that kind of internal or mental battle between the two?
I never liked the word comparison.
Yeah, well, yeah.
As an athlete, as like somebody that was training before, I never liked being compared to others. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different body and different movements, things like that. I always say there's a reason why you got this score. If you got a 7 and the girl that won got 8, look at why she got an 8. Look at her kicks, or look at how she moves. Not in a comparison way, but more of what can you do to improve yourself so that you can get that 8 or you can get that gold bronze medal. But yeah, I think it's more of looking at them to see what they're doing differently in their training versus ours, so that we can implement that and then make ourselves better too.
I love that. That's super sweet. It's so funny. I feel like right now we're getting all like the sweet answers, but practice is in like an hour. We're gonna get the looks. Like, you obviously didn't stretch last week, or you didn't come to class all week. It's a holiday, but so while we're here, maybe I just hit one of these guys.
I'm gonna start early.
So where do you? Because I love our training program. I think it's super well-rounded. We have some days where we work mainly on flexibility. We have some days where we work on strength training for the muscles that help our kicks go a lot higher. Do you stay true to like the training programs or the exercises that you learned as a student, or how do you find new exercises to like help us improve faster or try different things?
I always like to create new things. I never liked in class or in Poomsae when a student could guess what my exercise was going to be. That was my least favorite ever. So if you're trying to guess my exercise, I'm immediately going to make something new on the spot.
I've seen this in real life.
Just to be like that.
And then coach. It's worse than what the person guessed.
It will so always be worse.
Who is it? You know, we have one student who always tries to guess. And we're like, oh my God, zip it, please.
I think that's just me as a coach, so I don't know who else does that. But yeah, I never wanted to be like just the same thing all the time, because you want to build new muscle and you want to try new exercises and things that can help you in different ways. So I always wanted to make it different. I used to do a lot of Instagram video things, but I think more recently it's just in my head. I just see it and I do it. And you guys say it's hard, so that I do it.
And I go, this is great. This is exactly what I wanted.
Yes, this worked out for the best.
Okay, so what's one exercise right now that you have in the rotation that you think has helped the students improve the most?
I really like the one with the board.
Oh no.
Like your guys' least favorite. Whatever your least favorite is means it's the hardest and it's working the most. That one I think helps with that front kick, because it's so repetitive to be like, bend your knee. Bend your knee, bend your knee, bend your knee. You have to keep your knee up here. I think it like forces you to do that. And I think that's what is hard, is I can't physically make you do it. You have to be able to do it yourself too.
And it has to be like that natural reaction when you're like, okay, hit a front kick from your lunge, and we have to like, it has to be our default setting by now.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. And what's one exercise that you feel like you, like maybe saw on Instagram or saw somewhere else, tried it, and then you did not like how, like, not that we were performing it, but like you didn't think like it was super helpful, or it just didn't play out the way you wanted?
There was one that I really liked, and I think it looked really good when the girl did it. I don't know if like our muscles need to be stronger first, but it's like this front kick, round kick, like in the air without putting your foot down. You're just turning your body and your foot. But our front kick goes like from here, and then our round kick goes down. It just drops. It goes here. So I think it's hard in a good way, that it's challenging, but it's too challenging to where it's not helping anybody. So I think I kind of ended up dropping that one.
Where did you see that one?
It was on Instagram or TikTok. One of the
two. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what do you think our Poomsae team struggles with the most? Specifically our team.
Our team needs more power.
Okay.
Like that inner power. Kumgang, I think, is a good example of that.
Yeah. Say less.
Because there's no kicks, and it's all about repetition and turns and power. It really shows when you don't have that power, and it just looks weak. In the nicest way possible.
In the nicest way. Not so strong. Okay.
better.
Yeah, no, that one's a tough one. What do you think was your toughest Poomsae to compete in that you always like struggled with, or you felt like just wasn't as good as the other ones that you would perform?
Choreo.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
The last time I competed with choreo was at a nationals, and I blacked out. I don't even know what I did. I don't know if I finished the form. I don't know.
You started here and then blinked and then you were here.
It was so, I might have stumbled. There was something that happened, and I didn't place, but I think it was like in my head, like, I don't even know what I did.
I can't recall.
So, it's okay. But yeah, that was definitely the hardest one for me.
That's fair. That's not what I would have guessed. I don't know. I just feel like you do that one pretty solid now, maybe.
Maybe now. Back in the day.
But at that time,
17 and young.
So what do you think is a universal Poomsae that our team struggles with the most?
Universal Poomsae.
That everyone is like, that's my toughest one. Like,
I think it's Kumgang.
Oh. That's definitely mine. I just didn't know if you thought everyone else felt the same way.
Yeah, there's only a couple that I would say like feel comfortable with Kumgang, but majority I would say there's always something with that form for sure.
What do you think is the toughest part of that form? Because obviously there's two main things, or maybe three main things that we all know are pretty tough in that one.
Yeah.
What do you think is like the worst one that everyone struggles with the most?
I think it's the turns. For me, it's the turns because we've been changing our turns a lot in the past couple years, and making each turn the same, I think, is the hardest to make it consistent. And those old habits kind of creep out in the middle of the form. And then
yes, they
what
do.
What happened to that one? That wasn't it. Please.
That wasn't it. You could try again.
Yeah. So I would say, because there's so many turns, so many repetitions of that one, it like changes every single time.
And the landing is hard too. So say like you can execute the beginning of the turn correctly, but if you don't land it consistent, it's like it's obvious that it was off.
That riding horse stance gives you no favors.
Oh, no. It's tough. Okay, so and also since you do stay very, very updated, I think, with the new changes to Poomsae or any updates that specifically like USA TKD puts out. I feel like we've had a lot of changes recently with like Kumgang, and I could be wrong. But what are some recent updates with a couple of the forms, like you can mention several of them, that you think, not that people don't know about, because everyone who competes in USA TKD does kind of stay updated, but like, what do you think are the most noticeable updates in the Poomsae changes that have happened?
I think the execution of certain moves are changing. I went to like a talent phase thing. It was just a bunch of national members teaching you forms kind of thing. And there was a lot of talk about the way that you execute a turn, like not just Kumgang, but like turning in general, or your body posture within the movement. That I think it's all subjective. It's all within yourself. I think there is specifics to the stances and the arms, things like that. But when it comes down to actually doing it, every judge sees it in a different way on like what they think is correct and what they don't think is correct. And so I think when you're listening to national members or people who are like higher up there and they're telling you their perspective, it changes the way that you want to teach your students.
Okay.
So I came back from that like, I have so many things to change or to teach you guys, because as a coach, I didn't see it from that perspective, but if they're competing in that perspective, that's what I would want you guys to learn as well.
Okay. Is there a specific move, do you think, that like USAT has changed the way we should execute that you think our team specifically struggles with the most, or like that we forget to do?
I think it would be the turns, even in like choreo, this one. It's the way that you step and turn your body before finishing the movement that changed. And I think because we already have habits from so many years before that it's hard to remember that one thing. And then it kind of translates to almost every form, that one little turn that is different than the rest. And yeah, I think just being consistent with that is like the hardest thing to remember.
Nice. Okay. That is really true. I'm trying to think of like a couple of things and I'm like, yeah, I'm guilty. Whoops. Okay, so as far as like still competing goes, what do you think athletes can do competition day to stay focused, stay and kind of like shake off those like pre-competition nerves really and just like perform their best? Because I do feel like we have a lot of students who practice really well. Like at practice, I'm like, dang, that's a 10. That's a 10 out of 10 form. And then they get to competition and we're like, okay, I know you could have done better. Like obviously it was a mental thing. It wasn't a skill thing. What do you think they can do to prepare for that?
I think I always think about if you're practicing at 100 and you compete at 100, there's a better chance of it translating onto that tournament day. Sometimes I'm like, that wasn't your 100%. And then you're creating a bad habit of like, I'm just going to do 80 so that my kick can be up here, but then my balance could be good. But then when you're doing it 100% and you're kicking as high as you can with the power that you need, it makes you off balance. So I feel like when you're hurting yourself if you're doing that. Give it 100 and then it translates better when you're
to competition. Okay. And then what are some things that you think do throw people off, like at competition? Do you think it's that we're in front of a crowd, or do you think it's because we're performing in front of like our, the other athletes we're competing against and we know that they're really good? You know, because I mean, there's no one we compete against, excuse me, that we're like, oh, they kind of suck. Like everyone who competes in sports Poomsae right now, like is really good and they do put in the time. So like, what do you think are some aspects that do psych the athletes out?
Not having confidence in yourself doing it. I think, again, like I don't like comparing. So I think if you're there watching others and being like, oh, my front kick isn't that high, this is not the time to think about how high your front kick is. This is the wrong time. Too late. You needed to do that a month ago and think about how high your front kick is. I feel like it goes down from there. You can't, because you're training hard to get to that day. There's no changes on the day of tournament. You just have to do what you learned. And I always tell you guys that just do what you learned, do what you know, and don't think about anything else. Because then that's when you get in your own head and you're like running circles around. Yeah.
And then it's like a spiral all the way down. And especially if you go last. See, that's why I always tell the girls I love going first because I don't see what anyone else looks like.
Yeah.
Like I hate going last because then you have to sit there and like watch everyone. And then I'm a victim of that. I definitely get in my head and I'm like, okay, well, we're just showing up for fun now. But when I go first, it's like, okay, I can focus on what I'm doing, go, and then I don't have to worry about it because I already went.
Yeah.
And I think also with the going back to like the quick draw forms too, I think mentally it's helped me because I'm not worried. Like if I know Pyeongwon got picked like a week in advance, I'm already kind of like mentally checked out.
Yeah.
You know? So I think with the quick draw, it's like, okay, it could be something good. It could be good news today.
Yes.
So I think that's definitely helped a lot with the athlete's mentality. So with competitions still, what is one of your challenges as a coach that you've noticed is consistent to every competition, whether that be like keeping the athletes mentally focused or even just like you have a lot of athletes on the floor, so you're kind of like running around trying to get to everybody. Like what's your main struggle with that you noticed?
Mine is wanting to be there for everybody and then everyone comes out at the same time.
That is very true.
No. And then one's over here and the other one's like across the room and I'm like, I can't even watch you. It's like picking who to stay with and who to not stay with. If I don't have another coach with me, if like Master Kim isn't with me or somebody, then I have to try to be organized with who I think is going to go first. So I'll be like, okay, this one's like fifth in line, but this one's like second in line. So I'll go over here and then I have to bounce back over here. And then I have to be organized in the way that I'm moving so that I'm not missing anybody anymore.
Okay. And so do you prefer the competitions that have like the color belts on one day and then the black belts on a different day? Because it's usually, less to manage.
I think it doesn't mesh or not mesh, but like color belts always go before the black belts. And I would say the black belts kind of have a longer day. They go a lot later. So I think it's not the black belts and the color belts on the same day that's the issue. It's the color belts going at the same time, but they're at different rings. Because sports Poomsae is easy. You guys are always in one ring. Like, there's never any like...
So like a junior and a senior aren't going to go at the same time.
Exactly. Okay. Or majority of the time. Yeah. Sometimes that happens, but usually you guys are in a ring and then I'll just be with you guys. But with the color belts, they're always going to be in different rings together. And so that's where I struggle the most. So I think if it's a split thing, it's probably just a shorter day.
Okay.
I don't think it really affects
The
things.
timing.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. And okay, so to kind of wrap this up, what is your main goal as a Poomsae coach? And I know you don't compete anymore, but even as like just a Taekwondo practitioner, like what is your main goal and main focus right now as of, what are we in? November 2025.
I always want to be updated with information. I think sometimes I'm like, how do you know that? Like, where did you get your information from? Like, how come I didn't get the news? So I feel like I'm always trying to find avenues of if there's new rules coming out or there's new things happening. I always want to be updated with that because I never want to look like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm always afraid of like, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. But I try really hard to do the research so that I do look like I know what I'm doing.
I think you're doing really well.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to look dumb, you know. But I also want my athletes to have trust in me that I do know what I'm doing and I'm telling them to the best of my knowledge, to the best of like the Poomsae community of like what they should be doing and how they should be doing it too.
Okay. And then, so what are your resources? I know I said that was the last question, but I have one more on that topic. So what are your resources? Because I know you told me there's like Facebook groups. There's obviously like the USAT email blasts and stuff, but like, is it a collection of things or do you think there's like one hub that you can get everything from?
It's a collection of things. There's also like courses on USAT, like the website, there's like Poomsae courses and I learn a lot from like the Poomsae coaches or like, the girls that compete in Poomsae and they're like teaching you different things. I think that's a good information one of like, it's like videos and that I would just take notes.
Okay.
The Facebook would be more of like tournament wise or like sometimes they post what rules are changing and even USAT won't post it that early. So I'm like, USAT, where are you at?
Get this?
Where are you getting? So yeah, I think it's just everything. You have to be everywhere in order to get the information that you want. You can't just look one place and then get everything you need.
Okay. Perfect. Well, this was very informational. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. And I hope practice today isn't going to kill me.
Me too.
Wait a minute. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks.